Have you ever had this feeling that the history we've been taught is a lie? A story that's missing its most important chapter. For nearly a century, a broken piece of clay sat in a university collection, dismissed as a simple accounting sheet. It was catalogued as Plimpton 322, just a number. But when modern minds finally looked closer, they found something that didn't belong. Something impossible. They found a form of mathematics so advanced it shouldn't have existed for another 1,000 years. And now, headlines are screaming that AI has decoded a terrifying secret from it. But the truth is far more unsettling. The terror isn't a curse or a prophecy. It's the chilling realization that a brilliant, forgotten science once flourished on Earth, and then vanished without a trace. Stick around, because what this tablet truly reveals will force you to question everything you think you know about human progress. A code in the clay. For decades, scholars thought Plimpton 322 was just another boring ledger, a list of grain sacks or silver payments. Because that's what the Babylonians did, right? They were meticulous accountants. But in the 1940s, a historian named Otto Neugebauer looked past the simple wedge-shaped marks and saw a pattern, a ghost of an idea that was shockingly advanced. This wasn't a list of goods. It was a list of numbers. Specifically, what we call Pythagorean triples. These are sets of 3 whole numbers that define a perfect right-angled triangle. But this wasn't the simple 3-4-5 triangle a builder might carry in their toolkit. The tablet listed 15 of them, including mind-bogglingly huge ones like 12709, 13500, 18541. Numbers so massive they couldn't possibly be found by accident. This was evidence of a system, a method, an algorithm. The Babylonians hadn't just stumbled upon this relationship, they had mastered it. They had a machine for generating mathematical truth, more than 1,500 years before the Greek philosopher Pythagoras was even born. Trigonometry. Before the Greeks, for centuries, it seemed like nothing more than hyper-advanced math, a brilliant yet isolated puzzle in number theory. But recently, a radical idea shook the scientific world. What if this wasn't just a list at all, but a tool? What if Plimpton 322 is, in fact, the world's first trigonometric table? Now, our trigonometry, the kind we learn in school, was invented by the Greeks. It's based on angles and circles, but it has a flaw. It often relies on approximations. The numbers can get messy, with endless decimal points. But the Babylonians had a different way of thinking. This new theory argues they built a proto-trigonometry based not on angles, but on exact ratios between a triangle's sides. Combined with their base 60-number system, this allowed for a kind of perfect calculation. No rounding errors, no approximations, just pure, precise mathematical truth. In some ways, their system was more accurate, more elegant than the one we inherited from the Greeks. And the implications of that are staggering. It means a fundamental branch of science wasn't discovered and refined over time. It was born, fully formed, in ancient Mesopotamia. And then it was lost to the sands of time. A whole branch of human knowledge just blinked out of existence. A historian's warning. But here's where the story gets tangled, where the mystery deepens. Just as the idea of a lost superscience takes hold, a chorus of historians, led by experts like Eleanor Robson, raises a powerful objection. They warn that calling this trigonometry is a dangerous trap, an illusion created by our own modern way of thinking. It's what historians call anachronism, judging the past by the standards and concepts of the present, forcing their world to fit into our boxes. The objection is simple, but devastating. In all of the hundreds of thousands of Babylonian tablets we've found, there is no evidence that they even had a concept for measuring an angle. They understood shapes, lengths, and areas with incredible precision. But the idea of an angle as a measurable thing, like 30 degrees or 45 degrees, simply wasn't part of their world. It was a completely alien concept. So how could they create a table for measuring something they didn't even perceive in the same way we do? To these historians, Plimpton 322 isn't a lost scientific instrument. It's something far more grounded in their world, a masterclass teaching tool. Imagine a mathematics professor in ancient Larsa, training the next generation of elite scribes. He would need a set of perfect problems, challenges complex enough to stretch his students' minds, but which resulted in clean, whole number answers. Plimpton 322 is that tool, a kind of ultimate answer key designed to generate a series of elegant problems for students learning the incredibly complex art of calculation in a base 60 world. This doesn't make the tablet any less brilliant. It just redefines its genius. It was exceptional, yes, but it was an exceptional piece of education, not a lost technology. The blueprint hidden in plain sight. For decades, this debate was a stalemate. A revolutionary theory on one side, and a sober, context-based reality check on the other. What was missing was the link. The proof that this advanced math was actually used for anything in the real world. And then, another tablet called Sci 427 gave us the answer. Sci 427 isn't a list of abstract numbers, it's a map. It's a 3,700-year-old surveyor's plan, etched into clay to settle a legal dispute over a piece of land. And the math on it is unmistakable. The surveyor used Pythagorean triples to draw perfectly perpendicular lines to divide the field with an accuracy that would hold up in court. This wasn't an academic exercise. This was about money, property, and power. Suddenly, the purpose of Plimpton 322 came into focus. In a society where private land ownership was emerging, boundaries mattered. To know where your field ended and your neighbors began, you needed proof. Objective, mathematical proof. SI 427 shows the boots-on-the-ground use of this math. Plimpton 322 may have been the master reference, the blueprint for scribes and surveyors shaping the very order of their world. This wasn't math for fun. It was math for law, for civilization itself. The ghost in the machine. And now, the twist in the tale. Where does AI fit into this ancient puzzle? The headlines you've seen are a distortion of the truth. AI did not decode Plimpton 322. Humans did that decades ago. The real role of AI in this story is infinitely bigger, and it's where the true terror lies. Because for every one tablet, like Plimpton 322 that we've studied, there are thousands more sitting in museum vaults, untranslated. There are an estimated 500,000 cuneiform tablets that have been excavated, but never read. It's a library of a lost civilization, an entire universe of knowledge, locked away behind a script that only a handful of people on Earth can read. This is the bottleneck AI is designed to smash. By training neural networks on the existing texts, we are on the verge of creating a system that can translate this silent archive automatically. And that is the unsettling part. The main argument against the trigonometry theory is a lack of context. AI is about to give us that context, on a scale we can barely comprehend. What happens when it starts reading all of those other texts? Will we find more tables like Plimpton 322? Will we find engineering manuals for ziggurats, medical texts, star charts? Or will we find that Robson was right, and it was just a brilliant math lesson? AI hasn't solved this mystery. It has armed us with the tool that might finally find the missing pieces. The lost summits of history. Plimpton 322 exposes the lie that history flows in a single, orderly line, always leading to us. It suggests that human history is more like a landscape with towering peaks of genius and deep valleys of forgotten knowledge. The Babylonians reached an intellectual summit, creating a system of mathematics that was in some ways perfect. And then their civilization fell, and the knowledge was buried. What this single clay tablet reveals is our own fragility. It proves that knowledge is not permanent, that entire branches of science can be discovered, perfected, and then utterly lost. The most terrifying thought isn't what's written on this one tablet. It's wondering how many other Plimpton 322s are still out there, either buried under the sand or sitting silently in a museum drawer, waiting to tell us just how much we've forgotten. What do you think? Was this a lost science or a brilliant teaching tool? Let us know in the comments below. If your mind is blown, hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the mysteries that rewrite history. Until next time, stay curious.